welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back at you with another video. Today's going to be interesting. Today I'm going to do another boil review, or should I say comparison, between the MSR Whisperlite Universal and the old MSR Whisperlite. Now, you guys might be wondering, for those of you who follow my channel, you might be wondering, why are you doing another boil comparison, dude? Well, let me explain that. The reason I'm doing another boil comparison is because I've received a few private messages and emails in reference to my video saying that I was being biased in my review between the two stoves. So first of all, I don't understand where you're coming from saying that I'm biased, because both stoves that I was reviewing were MSR stoves. One was a Whisperlite and one which was a proven platform that had been, I had that stove for 15 years and it's worked fine, never let me down. And the other stove was a newer version of that same stove. So I don't know where you're coming off saying that I'm biased. And furthermore, I don't receive any money from MSR. I don't receive any sponsorships. They do not support my channel. They don't give me any kind of anything. I don't receive products from them, nothing. When I do a comparison between two products, I want you guys to know without a doubt that if I see something on one that's better than the other, or if I see a negative or a positive, I'm gonna say, hey, I like this, I don't like that. It has nothing to do with being biased at all. I'm not that way. I'm not going to be paid off. I'm not going to be bought. Nothing. If I see something, I'm going to tell you guys about it. And I want you to understand that clearly. So, with that being said, let me get back into detail here. So obviously, behind me I have the two stoves. I have two pans back here. And the pans are on their side facing you so that you can see that there's nothing in them. I have two bottles of water. These are going to be 20-ounce bottles of water. I've got the fuel pumps. This one here is the Whisperlite Universal. This one is the older Whisperlite. I have two fuel canisters. They're both full of regular gasoline from the same gas can, and I have two pot supports. Now, the reason I'm using 20 ounces of water in this video, because the last video where I compared the two stoves, I used small stainless steel pans that held approximately a cup of water. Now, being that it was a small amount of water, they both came to a boil fairly quickly, and that might have showed, you know, an inaccurate test of the actual power of the stove. So I thought, to make it more fair and less biased, I guess, if you will, I would use 20 ounces of water today. Now, another thing that was brought up in the comments, it was a few people actually, was the fact that I pumped one stove more than the other or something of that nature. Now, I'm not going to be counting pump strokes in this video today, and that's simply because you can't, in my opinion, you can't pump each pump identically. Okay? For example, on one pump you might take 10 strokes to develop a certain PSI in your fuel canister, and the other pump it might only take 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do as many pumps as I need off camera, and I'm going to have both stoves fired up, running hot at their peak performance. Okay, and it has nothing to do with pump strokes. I'm going to be looking to get the consistent PSI between the tanks. Okay, I'm looking to get the max output on both stoves. Another thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put a timer up behind me showing the elapsed time of how long it took to boil the water. Now, I don't think that's needed. I think we're going to take both stoves, put them at peak performance. I'm going to pour the water in, and we're going to see who boils faster. Bottom line. So stay with me, and I hope you enjoy the review today. Another thing, I'm not going to be talking about this versus that, this way, I like this stove because of this, oh, the pot, they're this long. No, I'm just going to pump up both stoves, get them fired up, and I'm going to boil the water. We're going to see who outshines who. See, they're both empty. 20 ounces of water. And another 20 ounces of water. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these stoves fired up, and when you see me back, we'll be ready to put those pots on those stoves. Okay folks, I have both stoves primed up. They both have a lot of pressure. You can see that the universal is putting out a nice blue flame, and the old model Whisperlite putting out a good flame as well. I'm going to do a quick shake of each stove to activate the shaker jet to make sure that there's no deposit in the jet. Making sure that we got good flow. And there's nothing going on. Now let's take this water. We'll introduce these water pans to the appropriate stove. From here we're going to wait. You can see here that there's nothing biased at all. Let me lower this camera down a little bit, give you guys a good view. Both stoves are at max output. I'm going to leave this camera running in real time so that you don't see any, or suspect that there's any cut of the footage or me pumping the stoves up or anything. These valves on these stoves are both opened up all the way open, and they both have the same amount of water, same temperature, same fuel, same everything. Let's take another look here. We're starting to show a little bit of oil on the old Whisperlite. Not boil, but you can see the small bubbles. We'll be coming back and checking periodically during this process. Both of these stoves generate a huge amount of power. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a roll on our boil. Let's take a look. The universal is boiling just a little bit. So is the Whisperlite. Both of them are. Looks like the universal is developing a slightly faster boil. The original Whisperlite ain't far behind it. And if you're confused, this one here is the Whisperlite Universal, and this one is the Whisperlite, the old model. Both shaker jets, both using regular gasoline, and I buy the cheapest gasoline I can find. simply because I don't want all the additives, the added additives in the fuel, because that'll gum up my jet. But these are both shaker jets, but nonetheless, I just get by with the cheapest gas I can find. Well, folks, looks like we have a pretty good rolling boil on both stoves. Looks like they both did about the same amount of time as far as getting to a boil. The new Whisperlite Universal was slightly faster, but in other comparisons, the old one was faster. So I've seen boil times about the same on both stoves. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you for watching the video today on checking out these stoves and seeing how quick they'll boil water. Let me tell you the bottom line of these stoves, okay, guys? I love both of these stoves. When I bought the MSR Whisperlite Universal, the new one here, I bought it because it supports isopro fuel canisters and liquid fuel. It burns a little bit wider range of fuel than my old Whisperlite did. You know, on the Universal, I can burn white gas, Coleman fuel. You know, I can burn regular gasoline, I can burn kerosene, and again, those propane/butane canisters that MSR makes, they call them isopro. I can burn those as well. And not only can I burn those, but I can burn them in liquid fuel mode, which is really cool. But I never had an issue with my old stove, and I haven't had an issue with the new stove. The performance, you know, I can sit here and boil water over and over, you know, and sometimes this one boils first and sometimes this one boils first. In fact, I'll put some other footage in here showing that this one came to a boil in another test doing the same exact thing that I just did right now. So to say one stove is better than the other is kind of hard for me. I love them both. They both, in my opinion, perform the same. They really do. This one just has more options. So I hope you found the video useful today. I hope you found, you know, some good info. I hope you got a kick out of it. Please feel free, as always, to like, share this video, leave comments, and if you like the content on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. So until next time, take care. I hope this sheds some light on that topic, though. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody. Yeah, both stoves are just cranking away. Have a beautiful day. Both stoves are going, both water containers are going on the stoves. I'm going to leave this camera set up here so that you can see in real time what's going on here. That way there's no shenanigans going on, not that there was before, but I just want to make sure that you guys see everything as it unfolds. This is not an effort for me to bore you by any means. This is just to show you that this thing is even and there's nothing going on between these stoves. $20 ounces of water. So far they look pretty even. looks like this universal is not sitting quite straight. I'm starting to get a slight boil on both of them. I'll show you that here in a second. Both of these stoves are putting out very well. To me, it looks like the old Whisperlite is starting to crank up. Look at the water. Again, we're not dealing with a 1 cup comparison. We're apples versus apples here. I think it speaks for itself, folks. Again, we're using the same identical fuel. I just used a little more water. The old MSR Whisperlite is outperforming the new Whisperlite Universal. Not by much, but nonetheless, it's outperforming it. It started to boil faster. Both stoves are excellent stoves. You know, I don't want you to think that by me doing this video that I'm biased against one or the other. Okay? I'm simply showing you exactly in real time what's going on. We all saw that the old Whisperlite boiled water faster. It was 20 ounces of water, same fuel, same fair platform to test on.